All right, love. So here's this irresistible offer of how to love each other better, the art of sustaining love. So let's talk about the sacred geometry of relationships some more. I love this kind of stuff because it's visual, you know. So if you have the downward facing triangle shaped in like the pubic hair of a woman, and the upward facing triangle shaped like the pubic hair of a man, and you have them separated from each other, not really connecting, not understanding each other, and one sublimating the other, which is the masculine dominating the feminine, you basically end up having two upward-facing triangles. Okay, so we've talked about this, two masculine energies, because the woman cannot be woman, and the man is not actually able to be his full self. So the flat triangle does not become a pyramid, a 3D pyramid, until the two triangles start to interact. When they overlap, if you have, say, the downward facing triangle being pink, representing feminine, and the upward facing triangle blue, representing masculine, well, what happens is when they overlap, the masculine triangle turns pink and the feminine triangle turns blue. How is this? It's because the two of them teach each other. The feminine triangle receives the gifts of the masculine, and the masculine receives the gifts of the feminine. Now, when you have the overlapping triangles now have both become pyramids interacting, and you've basically inserted one pyramid into the other, sexy, right? What happens then is the tetrahedron, that creates the seed of life diagram that we are always talking about in New Age circles from quantum physics, about this divine shapes that are at the basis of our existence. So this Star of David, so many things that the Jewish tradition got right, man, that was the right symbol to choose. So now, the synergized energy of the two also is something we really need to talk about, because you can have overlapping triangles that is sort of like doing a masculine-feminine dance in a relationship, but they're still not connected. They're not inserted towards inside each other. They don't really have a sacred boundary of a circle around them. There's no containership yet. So what you have then are two energy systems doing a figure eight. Say this one is the feminine, and this one is the masculine. The only place they intersect are right in the middle. Getting to this with my finger. Right in the middle. But the interesting thing is, when you take those two shapes, this very same two shapes, you turn them into pyramids that are 3D, you insert one inside the other, and you align the energy systems so that the feminine and masculine are both feeding each other. Look at this. Look what happens to this shape. Instead of having two figure eights overlapping each other and only connecting in the middle, what you have is this. The feminine becomes the masculine, becomes the feminine, becomes the masculine. It's the very same shape with eternal flow. That's what we're trying to do for you here in this course, okay? I want to get you hooked up in all your chakras so that the flow is continuous between all of your chakras and each other. The flow of energizing each other. The flow of being fed within your own energetic system from your masculine, from your feminine. Isn't that beautiful? Now we remember that inside the center of the masculine triangle is the spiral. Okay? That's pure energy, representing pure energy, birthed from the womb of the goddess, the great gigantic night sky. It comes these stars, right? They're born out of actually water, wombs of water, just like children are born out of wombs of water. This is how we know that the feminine is bigger than the masculine, actually. It's a more dominant energy. Even though we don't want to see it that way, it's it's dominant because it's yielding and it's nourishing. Even men's penises start as vaginas. Did you know that? Your cock started as a clitoris that grew into a cock. This is true. You had ovaries which descended into testicles. You're just as much of the goddess as she. But this big divine energy, we need to remember, all of us are born from it, and then what comes is consciousness. Consciousness, the spiral of you, remembering yourself. So that's the masculine, and the center of the masculine pyramid is this spiral of consciousness. In the center of the feminine pyramid is love. Love, 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 love. Just that feeling. It's a vibrational feeling. We could call it a heart. We could shape it as a heart. But it's a feeling of love. And we say that the pure energy, the raw energy that's born into existence is a spiral because it's going somewhere. It's on a journey that never ends. But when the masculine is separated from the feminine, as in a culture over 2,000 years doing everything it can to destroy everything feminine, the earth, women's feelings, the sexuality, women's rights, women's feelings, on and on. When you have that for thousands of years, this disconnect is very, very profound. And so in the masculine, the center of the masculine's basically triangle instead of a pyramid is no longer a spiral because he's not on a journey. The journey is spiraling is in service to love. But when he doesn't have the feminine to serve, and he doesn't honor her, and he disrespects her, and he actually thinks everything feminine is evil, bad, dangerous, sinful, on and on, can't trust it, makes you crave and greedy and desireful, and you got to avoid her, and on and on. When you have that, instead of a spiral, at the center of his one-dimensional pyramid is the symbol for money. Money, money, money. Symbol for I, me, what can I get just for me? Capitalism, take from other people, take more than I give. So we know that in the actuality of existence, we can't take more than we give. We only can always be in exchange. I mean, we can take more than we give. We can do this horrible thing. But it's not a good thing, and it doesn't create happiness or joy.